The rarest breed of footballers today are one-club players who can't be influenced by money or fame. We're talking about elite players who could have a pick from any club, but choose to stay put out of loyalty. Off the top of your head, how many can you name? Royce is probably the first name that comes to mind. Messi, if it wasn't for Barcelona's president, but it's a tough list to keep adding on to. In a world that runs by money, to not be lured by riches and fame is something worth looking up to. Today, we're looking up to a man who perfectly preserved this spirit. A boy from Rome whose love for his city and club couldn't be moved by anything in the world. Let's talk about Francesco Totti, the legend of Roma and an icon of the sport. You might have seen clips from his farewell inside a packed Olimpico stadium, which was filled with emotion almost a decade ago. So today, we're going to tell you about the greatest one-club player who could have been a Galactico, or Chelsea's first talisman under Abramovich, or Barcelona's striker during their golden era, or literally at any club he wanted. But that's the thing, he never wanted anything but Roma. This is the brilliant story of Roma's Totti. Totti was born in 1976 in a working-class neighborhood in Rome. His childhood revolved around street football, where he played with older kids who immediately noticed his talent. Even at a young age, Totti had a natural gift for the game with quick feet, an eye for goal, and a deep understanding of how to read the play. By the time he was 8, local scouts had identified him as a rising star. He joined Fortitudo, a small amateur team, before moving to Smit Trastevere and then Lodigiani, one of the most prestigious youth academies in Rome at the time. It was here that Totti began to turn heads. Coaches were astonished by his technical ability, composure, and confidence. These were qualities rarely seen in players his age. By 1989, Totti was on the radar of the city's two biggest clubs, Lazio and AS Roma. While Lazio made a strong push to sign him, Totti's mother, Fiorella, was adamant that her son would join Roma. Totti joined Roma's youth academy at the age of 12. His rise through the ranks was meteoric. By 16, he was already training with the senior team. Then, in March 1993, he made his Serie A debut. He was just 16 years old, coming on as a substitute in a 2-0 victory over Brescia. Over the next 2 seasons, he worked tirelessly to break into the starting 11. By the 1994-95 season, he was a regular starter. He wasn't just another academy graduate, he was a player with the potential to change games. It wasn't long before fans started to take notice of this young prodigy. Totti's dribbling, vision, and ability to create chances made him a fan favorite. He wasn't just a playmaker, he could score goals too. In the 1994-95 campaign, Totti scored his first Serie A goal in a match against Foggia, a moment that remains etched in the memories of Roma supporters. The arrival of Zdenek Zeman as Roma's head coach in 1997 was a pivotal moment in Totti's career. Zeman was known for his attacking philosophy. Under the manager's guidance, Totti flourished as an attacker. The system gave him the freedom to express himself, and he responded with some of the best football of his early career. In the 1997-98 season, he scored 13 goals in Serie A, which was a remarkable tally for a player so young. He was no longer just a promising talent, he was becoming the face of Roma. At just 21 years old, he was handed the captain's armband. That same year, he made his debut for the Italian national team. It was clear that his talent wasn't just limited to club football. He had the potential to be a star on the international stage as well. As the century turned, his reputation continued to grow. By now, he was considered one of the most talented players in Italy, capable of changing games. The 2000 and 2001 season was a defining year for Totti and Roma. Under the management of Fabio Capello, Roma assembled a squad filled with world-class talent, including Gabriele Battistuta, Vincenzo Montella, and Cafu. However, Totti was the centerpiece of the team, the player around whom everything revolved. His performances that season were nothing short of sensational. He scored 13 league goals and created loads of chances. On June 17, 2001, Roma defeated Parma 3-1 at the Stadio Olimpico to secure the Scudetto. Totti, as captain, lifted the trophy in front of 80,000 Romanisti. For a boy who had grown up dreaming of this, it was his happiest moment in life. By the early 2000s, he was being compared to the likes of Zidane, Figo, and Ronaldinho. Totti wasn't just a domestic star anymore, he was a global icon. At Euro 2000, he played a key role in Italy's run to the final. Though they lost to France in heartbreaking fashion, his performances earned widespread praise. His Panenka against the Netherlands in the semi-final became one of the most iconic moments in the tournament's history. Despite his growing fame, he remained grounded. For him, football wasn't about personal glory. It was about representing Roma and making his city proud. Despite his talent and the growing interest from Europe's biggest clubs, he chose to stay in Rome. During the early 2000s, the football world was dominated by clubs like Real Madrid, Manchester United, and AC Milan. He was on all of their radars. Real Madrid in particular made their interest known. The Galacticos project, which featured stars like Zinedine Zidane, Luis Figo, and Ronaldo, wanted Totti as its crown jewel. Madrid wasn't the only club knocking on Roma's door. Barcelona, Manchester United, and Chelsea were all rumoured to have inquired about him. These clubs were willing to offer astronomical fees and salaries to lure him away. But for Totti, loyalty was unconditional. He repeatedly turned down offers that would have made him one of the highest paid players in the world. "Money and trophies mean nothing if I can't celebrate them with my people," he famously said. For him, Roma wasn't just a club, it was his entire identity. Totti's decision to stay came with sacrifices. While he helped Roma win the Scudetto in 2001 and 2 Coppa Italia titles in 2007 and 2008, the club often struggled to compete with the financial powerhouses of Europe. Big players left, and Roma couldn't match the dominance of Juventus, Milan, or Inter. Totti could have walked away, but he never wavered. Instead, he shouldered the responsibility of carrying the team. During these years, he reinvented himself. No longer just an attacking midfielder, he evolved into a prolific goalscorer. The 2006-07 season was a testament to his brilliance. Playing as a false nine, he won the European Golden Shoe, scoring 26 league goals and proving that he was still among the world's best. For all his loyalty and talent, his career was marked by near misses on the biggest stage. In the 2009-10 season, they were in a strong position to win the title, but lost out to Inter in the final weeks. Totti's international career also had its fair share of ups and downs. While he won the 2006 World Cup with Italy, his role was somewhat limited due to an ankle injury earlier that year. Despite contributing with a match-winning goal against Australia, he didn't shine as brightly as he had at Euro 2000. As he entered his 30s, many wondered how long he could maintain his high standards. Injuries began to take their toll, but he adapted his game once again. His footballing intelligence, impeccable technique, and leadership allowed him to remain Roma's talisman well into his late 30s. In his later years, he became more than a player. He was a symbol of Rome itself. His goals, celebrations, and interviews reflected the spirit of the eternal city. By the 2016-17 season, Totti's time at Roma was coming to an end. At 40 years old, he was no longer a regular starter. Under coach Luciano Spalletti, his appearances became somewhat limited, leading to tension between the two. Still, whenever he stepped onto the pitch, the fans greeted him like a hero. On May 28, 2017, Totti played his final game for his beloved club. The Stadio Olimpico was packed with 70,000 fans, all there to say goodbye to their beloved captain. As the final whistle blew, an emotional Totti addressed the crowd. Tears streamed down his face as he thanked the fans for their support over the years. In his farewell speech, he said, "I'm not ready to say it's over, but it's time to grow up." The farewell was a reminder of what he meant to Roma and its fans. He wasn't just a player, he was their captain, their leader, their legend. Totti's career is a story of loyalty and love for the game. In an era where players often chase money and trophies, Totti stood out as a beacon of hope. He showed that football is about more than just winning at all costs. It's about passion, identity, and staying true to your roots. In modern football, it's hard to imagine another player even replicating Totti's journey. Totti's loyalty is a rarity, a relic of a bygone era. Today, his legacy lives on, not just in Rome, but around the world. He's a reminder of what football can be at its best, a pure connection between a player, a club, and its fans. Do you think we will ever see a player like Totti again? Someone who loved his club above all else? Let us know below. Also, give us your favourite personal Totti moment ever.